Hey everyone, it's Barney, and it's been a while because I don't know. I just didn't know what to talk about anymore, and I was really busy with school, but I'm done with all that right now. And so, for the last couple of weeks, I was watching One Piece, because I love One Piece a lot. But then I kind of got tired with the uh, anime series because Toy Animation keeps dragging things out and they're like quite behind compared to the manga. And so I finally decided to go back to reading One Piece manga and catch up with where they are currently. And so I just read chapter 999, the last chapter of 2020, and I want to talk about it. Okay, so being chapter 999, I obviously expected something cool to happen because it leads up to the 1000th chapter of One Piece, which is actually very, very monumental. And so I've been hearing a lot of praise for this chapter, and so I was excited to go through it and see what happens. And the new information we get is pretty cool, and it's done in such a really nice way that makes everything come full circle. Okay, so spoilers if you watch the anime or you haven't quite gotten to this point yet. So if you remember, Ace was on Wano at a point. This was first referenced during Marineford where he talks to Orange Jr. and we see a flashback of him making the of him giving him the hat he constructed in Wano for him. I'm not sure if they showed this in the anime, but I remember reading the manga for Marineford and they kind of showed this. And during the first arc of Wano, we see him, uh, flashback showing him. And during that point in time, I just kept asking myself, why wouldn't Ace come through for the people of Wano? Obviously, we know Ace is someone who doesn't like seeing good people being oppressed. He's a good guy. And the only real thing Ace ever had an issue with, or person rather, is Roger. He's generally a nice, loving, fun dude. So I kept asking myself that, and this chapter basically answers the question. And it starts off with Ace confronting Yamato, who we found out in the past chapters is Kaido's daughter, who idolizes Odin and wants to be like him. Now, we see them meeting for the first time, and we see how uh Ace messes up a lot of the beast pirates, beats their asses. Him and some members of his crew, that is, beats their asses and all that. And we see him have a conversation with her where she basically tells him, I have no obligation to this place, but you've gone too far. And she tells him, I don't care about my father. And if he realizes, oh, this is Kaido's daughter, and they share that connection of having fathers they do not like. Although with Ace's with from Ace's perspective, it wasn't really Roger's fault, but more of the fault of how people perceived Roger that made him hate his dad. But Kaito is actually a douche, so you understand his relationship with Yamato. And so they share that, and basically Ace tells her she shouldn't be weighed down by the her ties with her father, and she basically tried to be her own person and not care about all that, which is actually a beautiful message and goes to show how Ace lived his life generally. And so you kind of feel that, and it's quite emotional considering what happens to Ace eventually and seeing how he never changed as a person and was always trying. You also see sweet moments of Ace and Yamato talking together, her telling him she wants to leave, but obviously she can't due to the handcuff, with it blowing up and everything. The one Luffy got free with Ryu a couple of chapters back. So you see the conversation. She obviously wants to be free and go out. She wants to dream like Oden did. She wants to do all these things and have conversations, and it tells her about the life of piracy. Mentions people like Kid, Bege, and is it Beje? Sorry, and Law, all in their respective parts of the sea, northeast. And so he also hammers on about Luffy, his brother, because Sabo and Ace love to talk about Luffy, and so he talks about Luffy a lot. That's why when we see her interact with Luffy at first, she already knows who he is and she knows a lot about him. And when she's telling Momo all these things, you can tell she already knows a lot about him thanks to Ace. Another cool thing is seeing Ace promise and go to meet the Whitebeard pirate to talk about them, and you realize since one was closed off, they didn't even know Odin had died until years later. But then they didn't want to interfere, or rather, they couldn't interfere because of casualties and all that. And they also realized that Ace going there wouldn't do anything because if Odin couldn't stop this guy, Ace at this point definitely can't stop him because Kaido is a very very powerful person. So we see all that play out. We see them reminisce about him, and you see uh, Momonosuke shocked that Ace was Roger's father. Sorry, Roger was Ace's father, and you just see all this stuff that needs to be said for them, the characters. But you already know. But it's nice to see that they didn't know all this and make sense. You get, yeah. So what else happens in the chapter? You see Marco and him trying to assist the Straw Hat still, with what Queen did with his cold disease thing that, probably going to kill a lot of people if Chopper and the other doctors can't find a cure to it. And he also uh tries to assist Zoro so Zoro can get to the top floor where Kaido is currently. And Kaido has taken out a lot of people and he's trying to raise his island to take to Wano capital just to say a giant FU and end Momonosuke's family line and put them to shame, and possibly kill a lot of people. But he obviously doesn't care about that. He's trying to make Wano a whole country that's just for messed up Buccaneer like pirates. Failed to mention how Tama was quite sad, when she talked to Luffy about Ace. Luffy didn't really want to talk about that because it's a painful thing in his life, and so her realizing Luffy was his little brother made her feel bad and all that. And then the chapter ends in such a cool way where we see a conversation with Kaido and Big Mom where Big Mom tells him you're free to kill anybody but leave Robin because Robin can't read the poneglyphs. And Kaido asks her why can't we just use your daughter Pudding, but Pudding, according to Lin Linda's Big Mom, hasn't awakened the Three Eye Clan ability to read different languages and all that. So that's the complication. So it seems going on from here, they will be trying to capture Nico Robin as she's the only surviving person from O'Hara. And O'Hara was the land where so many people were trying to research these ancient texts and all that. And it also ends with a new piece of information, realizing that Lillian was the one who gave him his devil fruit and helped him during the great battle with Rox and Roger and Garp at God Valley. And that is another bit of more information that adds a lot of layer to the relationship. You also hear talk about him in like a big sister capacity, which she even references. So that goes to show uh, Kaido definitely owes her one, and their relationship is actually quite closer than we'd expect, with them always bickering and all that. So the coming chapters are definitely going to be intense because you have these extremely powerful beings, and not only that, they have a ton of lackeys sprinkled around. We even have we even have Sanji trying to escape and at the same time crush crush on um Kaido's girlfriend and her female lackeys. I'm sorry I do not remember her name, but it's just cool to see. Oda likes to put all these funny moments, and they're just